y bienvenidos oyentes. My name is Chantilly McFarlane.
My name is Bree Mercedes.
I'm Tamara Sainton.
And I'm Naomi Lovitt.
Y somos Radio Changó. Welcome back to another episode, everyone.
A highly anticipated episode at that. Today we're welcoming our lovely new co-host, Tamara Sainton.
Welcome. Hola todos. Y thank you for the warm welcome. I am so excited to talk about los Afro-Latinas, African Americans, and what's going on with our hair.
Yes, girl. I'm sure that every Afro-Latina or just anyone of African descent has stories to tell about our hair.
Without a doubt, our fellow Bisons came through for this episode. We have interviews and testimonies for each and every tipo de pelo.
Sí, soy Dominicana, and I was ready to interview the Dominican salons here in DC.
Yes, Nana, I needed to get my hair done anyways with silk press season coming up.
So, for this episode, we got the inspiration from the song Don't Touch My Hair by Salon.
Yes. Don't touch my hair. Can't say what I had to do it for one time.
Good. And as Black people and Afro-Latinas, es muy importante que empezamos una conversación and really touch on the history around our hair.
Definitely. So what did you and Tamara find? School us. Let people know about our history.
Okay, so I'll go first. So for a long time, Black hair has been tied to our identity. From braids to wearing our natural afros, twists, dreads, todo de eso. It's kind of like an art form, but according to Blam UK, which is a Black diaspora website, braids were used to signify someone's tribe and identity. But that's something I feel like still translates to today, no?
No, definitely.
Yeah.
Pero this is where things get kind of complicated. During the slave trade, slave owners would shave off their hair in order to strip them of their identities, which is why I feel like today when non-Black people appropriate those styles, they don't realize how ingrained in our identity and our history they are. Yeah. But clearly we didn't lose all of our identity, and we maintained a lot of knowledge about our hair because we needed to use that to survive. Back in the day, we used to braid grains of rice and maps into our cornrows. It was like a tool of resistance for us. But what about now? How we go from braids to bumped ends? What do you think, Chantilly?
Well, I remember I had to have the bumped ends, especially with my bangs. Fue una experiencia terrible. But those styles like silk presses and relaxers are cute. Shout out El Salón Dominicano. Historically, we wore our hair this way to suppress our identities and assimilate into white Western culture. I'm sure the term pelo malo is familiar to all of us in the Afro-Latina community. Even in the Black community, at some point in our lives, we have heard the term good hair when referring to long, straight hair, in contrast to short, kinky hair. Para mí, I remember having to endure the itches and burns of relaxers in the Dominican salon every August before school started.
That was definitely me. Definitely had me in that chair, and then I used to be sitting there wondering, like, is it supposed to be tingling like this?
Mm-hmm. I used to be wondering the same thing about the smell.
Yeah, it was bad. It was very bad. But the beginning of hair relaxers dates back all the way to 1909 when it was invented by Garrett A. Morgan. It was actually a cream made to straighten out his own hair and has evolved from perms to jerry curl and more ways to alter the natural curl pattern of our hair. And according to the Boston University School of Public Health, the use of hair relaxers are the highest among Black women, with Hispanic women falling right behind them, with more than half of Black participants being reported to use their first relaxer before the age of 10. I know for me, I started getting relaxers in my hair when I started going to kindergarten, and I hated the process of it.
Yeah, I definitely started in like middle school, trying to get inches, trying to look like the white girl.
Just way too young.
Yup.
So everyone knows about Dominican women and their silk presses, right?
How could I not? Soy Dominicana. Que lo que to all the Dominicans. So last week, I got to get my hair done at the Elite Dominican Hair Salon.
Ooh, how was that? I see the hair looks beautiful, of course, and I heard you guys got the chance to interview the owner.
Thanks. And yes, we got to interview Miss Ramona. She was so nice. Let's get into the clips from that.
Hola, Miss Ramona. Our names are Bree Mercedes and Naomi Lovitt, and thank you so much for meeting with us today. Here goes the first question. Do you think that the Dominican community has a beauty standard, and how would you describe that beauty standard?
Yeah, the Dominican standard is like they like to be beautiful all the time. The Dominican ladies, they like to go to the beauty salon every week. Everywhere is necessary for us.
Y queremos saber cómo te sientes después que te haces tenaz en el pelo.
Oh, normal, me siento bien. Fresh.
Está bien.
What are the traditions passed down in your family that taught you how to maintain your hair?
Yeah, we use the wrap, that in Spanish is tubi. We go to the bed with the tubi, we wake up with the tubi, we go to the salon and do the tubi. We only take care of the tubi when we go party or somewhere, but we go to the tubi, to the supermarket, everywhere. And the tubi is very important for us.
Do you feel like it's better than the bonnet? Like in America, the bonnet?
It's better because if you wanted your hair straight and you keep it shiny, it's better you do tubi.
All right. So what makes a Dominican silk press special? What is the secret to, the beautiful results that we see that Dominicans are known for?
Our secret? I don't know. I think we born with that. I think so, I don't know what is the secret.
Maybe Rolos?
No, it's like our blue. I don't know. This is the secret because every woman, Dominican woman, they do her hair beautiful. I don't know. This is our secret. We born with that.
Bueno, gracias a Miss Ramona, ya sabemos que eso nace en el sangre.
We also got the chance to ask Howard students on their opinions on the importance of our hair.
Hello, everybody. This is your host, Free Mercedes, and today I'm in a special interview with
Oblai Good II. What's up, y'all? I'm a senior international business major with a concentration in marketing from Middletown, Delaware.
Perfect. So, Radio Changó is super excited to be here with you today. First, I wanted to ask you, what hairstyle do you currently have and how do you feel about it?
So, yeah, I have a front taper with some beautiful locks going down my back. I feel wonderful about it. Locks are just the essence of who I am, so it feels good having them on my head.
Beautiful. Can you tell me about a way in which your culture or life experience plays a role in the way you relate to your hair?
Of course, so I'm a Nigerian man, very proud Nigerian boy. So I style my hair in many different ways. Right now it's only a certain length, so I can only do but so much, but I've had cornrows before. Also, not right now, but in the past I've had cowrie shells, so they're a West African seashell that really specifically Nigerian. So whenever I have those in my hair, I feel like my vibrations are very African, and I always like to feel like that, especially being somebody who was raised in America. It's always good for me to feel closer to home.
How do you think you maintain your confidence while having locks despite the misconceptions that come along with them?
I look in the mirror. Yeah, so I just look in the mirror, and like I said, locks just feel like very me. I get confidence from within, and when I look at something, I trust my taste a lot. Like, I'm an artist, I'm a creator, I'm a creative director, a photographer, so I like to think I have good taste, or I wouldn't be as good as what I do as I am.
So how would you describe your own relationship with your locks?
Okay, so I don't know if y'all got the hint or the memo. I'm very madly in love with my locks. This is my second lock journey. I feel like I did it right. This time, I've kind of let my locks be as natural as possible. And yeah, they are still very well kept. I still oil and moisturize my hair every morning. But I just try to avoid getting retwist too often, and I try not to play in my hair too much. But I definitely feel like my locks and I are just locked in, like, not even trying to be punny or anything. If I could draw like my soul and my spirit and how I think it's shaped, I would think it would have locks on it, to be 100% honest.
That's really beautiful. I love that depiction. Do you have a favorite lock?
Not necessarily, but if I did have to pick one, it would be in the back of my head towards the right.
I heard a little rumor, but can you tell us about Sharky?
Okay, so when my first lock set, I did have a favorite lock. It was towards the back, and I used to call him Sharky. This lock used to stick up regardless. I'll put a do-rag on, a scarf on for hours trying to get it to lay down. It was disobedient. It would stay sticking up, pointing towards the sky, which is cool. So I just called it Sharky. It was a look like It is what it is. But yeah, we miss my homeboy Sharky. I cut off that first set of locks. But yeah, R.I.P. Sharky.
That's hilarious. So how do your locks relate to you and your spiritual journey? I remember us speaking about it briefly, but I was really excited to hear your input on this one.
Okay, for sure. So my locks relate heavily to me and my spiritual journey. I feel like locks kind of hold, I don't know if it's just locks or just hair in general, but for me, I didn't feel this way until I got locks. So basically with my first set of locks, I felt like they held a lot of negative energy. When I had those initial set of locks, I went through a rough patch in my life and I felt it on my hair. Like my hair felt heavier than it should have been. So when I realized that was what was going on, I realized it was time to cut my locks, so I did. And the second I cut my locks off, and I felt relieved. I still have those first set of locks. Locks have a lot to do with spirituality. So I don't really know the reasoning, but I just know in my spirit and in my heart, I felt like it. Even when I pick up those set of locks, I feel the energy that comes from it, and I know that I'm glad that I've detached those from my being.
That was a great answer. So lastly, what advice do you have for those who may be considering starting their own lock journey?
My advice is, y'all, do what you want to with your locks. At the end of the day, like I said, it is a spiritual thing, but it's just hair. It's just hair. Don't be in it all the time. Locks should be kind of free. Locks have a lot to do with freedom, in my opinion. Just be who you are. Don't let society's pressures make you conform your hair in one way or the other. Because where you're meant to be, you'll be. That's all I got to say.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. You had lots of great things to say.
Thank you for having me.
After getting such a great interview from Obilo, I headed over to the yard to hear more from other Howard students and their stories about their hair.
Hello, Howard student. What's your name?
Hi, my name is Tyla.
Hello, Tyla. What is a happy hair memory that you'd like to share with us?
So the day that I had did the big chop, I jumped into the pool and I just remember feeling so free because my whole life I had always manipulated the times that I swim based on whenever I had my hair done. So whenever I jumped in the pool and I didn't have to worry about having a whole 3-hour wash day afterwards, it just felt really good and I just felt so happy.
Hello, Howard student. What's your name?
Ari Alvarez Valdez.
Can you tell me about a way in which your culture or life experience plays a role in the way you relate to your hair?
Yeah, so growing up, I didn't really know much about my hair, and I didn't know how to take care of it really, and especially a lot of that had to do because in Latin culture, Dominican culture especially, it was growing up for me at least, it was to have my hair more tamed, so to have it straight all the time or to have it more controlled. And it's played a really big role in my life and relating to my hair. I've grown to love my hair so much more as I've gotten older, and especially since coming to Howard and seeing how much other people love their hair.
Hello, Howard student. What's your name?
Hello, I'm Fazika Barnes. I'm a junior supply chain management major from Texarkana, Texas.
Hey, Fazika. So what hairstyle do you currently have and how do you feel about it?
I currently have mini twist on my natural hair, and it's kind of like a mixed feeling just because this style, it has a lot of shrinkage, and so my hair is just very short, and it's kind of just harder for me to feel feminine with this hairstyle. I just feel like a little boy sort of, because it kind of brings me back memories from my childhood of wearing this style. And when I used to wear this style in elementary school and middle school, I got made fun of a lot for it. So I'm trying to kind of outgrow that mindset, but still it's a little bit hard.
I promise you look beautiful. Hello, Howard student. What's your name?
My name's Kobe.
Can you tell me about a way in which your culture or life experience plays a role in the way you relate to your hair?
Culture-wise, so I'm from Guyana. So it depends on where you are in Guyana when it comes to different hairstyles. People normally in the city, Georgetown, they be having short hair, but where my mom from, they be usually having longer hair since they're more indigenous.
Hello, Howard student. What's your name?
Jared.
So as a person of minority living in America, are there any common misconceptions that you feel are placed on you because of the way you wear your hair?
Yes. Actually, when I'm wearing my do-rag, because you have to lay your hair down, I think people could perceive you as a thug.
Hello, Howard student. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Tatiana Carter.
Hey, Tati. What hairstyle do you currently have and how do you feel about it?
Okay, so I currently have, I think they're called Fulani braids, and I really like them. It's my natural hair, real cutie.
Hello, Howard student. What's your name?
What's good, y'all? My name is Walter.
So, Walter, as a person of minority living in America, are there any common misconceptions that you feel are placed on you because of the way you wear your hair?
Oh, yes, for sure. Especially right now, given that I'm trying to get dreads, I'm kind of fitting the persona of the thug, quote unquote. It's kind of sad because at the end of the day, hair is just hair. It's a way of expression. It's a way to just share with the world how you feel, and it's the way you represent yourself amongst the society. So yeah, it's kind of sad, but hey, it is what it is.
A lot of people with locks spoke about how they were perceived as criminals as a misconception. It's honestly ridiculous that the world pushes this harmful narrative onto Black people in our hair.
The world? Not 100%. We all know where the root of this issue comes from and who pushed these standards and narratives. I mean, Black women are judged so much on our hair, and I feel like the interview with Miss Ramona proved that. But at the end of the day, I'm still not getting my hair wet. Can we get some finger snaps?
Didn't spend $60 on a silk press for nothing.
I know that's right. But also, with Dominican women, there's a lot of pressure to maintain a certain appearance. We heard her talking about wrapping our hair up in tubies just to go to the supermarket to keep it nice and shiny. And I think that Ms. Ramona not talking about her natural hair as much kind of shows how prevalent that is. Wearing your natural hair is nice, but it's something that a lot of Afro-Latina and African-American women aren't super comfortable with, even today.
Still, it is crazy to think about how much perception has changed when it comes to how we view our hair.
Not only that, but you hear jokes about how Black women don't play about getting our hair wet or sweating it out. She makes a good point about the constant upkeep of our crowns, but I think that over time we should stray away from always having to put in so much effort to maintaining our hair. Who are we maintaining our hair for if not us?
Definitely. Before Howard and before going to a predominantly Black school, I unfortunately went to a PWI for high school where Black hair was definitely not understood or celebrated. So you can only imagine the heat damage.
I think a lot of people have struggled with heat damage. It's a universal experience, but I know you guys prepared a segment about natural hair, and I really want to hear about that.
Well, for those who do not know, the natural hair movement began in the 70s con iconos como Angela Davis, Jimi Hendrix, and the Jackson 5, but has evolved into such a huge industry with the use of natural hair products free from sulfates, parabens, and more. Especially in the mid-2010s, companies like Shea Moisture, Miel Organics, and Curls gained popularity and relied heavily on Black and Afro-Latinx influencers and consumers to further progress el amor por nuestros rizos naturales.
And especially in the Afro-Latina community where it often can feel like your Blackness isn't celebrated enough, por ejemplo, pelo malo y pelo bueno, there are people and communities that are learning to do that. Like, for example, I found this company, Miss Rizos, that was founded by an Afro-Latina woman with the message of surpassing the idea that you need straightened or relaxed hair to look presentable. And we're familiar of this idea of needing to look presentable, like something is wrong with sweated out, poofy roots, or curly edges, as if that's not how our natural hair looks.
Yes, I know in my Dominican household, pelo bueno y pelo malo was a very prevalent idea, and I remember receiving a lot of praise in comparison to my cousins for my pelo bueno just because it was easier to straighten or had a looser curl pattern in comparison.
First off, I'm really just sorry to hear that, but I'm not gonna lie, the way that European beauty standards and ideals have infiltrated our homes is insane. Like, why are we divided from our families over hair and skin color?
Period. But Miss Rizos was founded by Carolina Contreras, who opened the first Dominican curly hair salon in La República Dominicana, and then in 2019 she opened another one called Miss Rizos in New York. Then she applied to create her very own hair care line with the goal of celebrating Afro-textured hair.
Ooh, can you put me on?
Right. I wish I could, girl, but they're only sold at the salon in New York and the Dominican Republic. But good news, they should be available for purchase at Sephora soon.
Sephora might be seeing me soon.
Most definitely.
Right.
Well, gracias a todos for listening to this week's episode of Radio Changó.
Y todos los oyentes, we're so grateful for everyone that contributed to this episode.
Yes, ma'am. And a special thanks to Elite Dominican Hair Salon, our fellow Bison, and the research and work put into this episode from our co-hosts.
We hope you enjoyed hearing about the importance of hair to the Black and Afro-Latinx community, and thank you so much for the warm welcome on my first episode.
No problem.
Adios!